Yeah, what's up? What's going on, everybody? It's Super Dave back at it again with another episode of the PA Political Revolution Podcast. And today, man, it's just so much going on in politics. So much going on with the school board, the city, that, we have a lot of content we're trying to bring you either here on as the audio and the visual, the podcast, either audio and visual or just the audio, or up on Facebook in the group PA Political Revolution Podcast on my actual post, right? So we're going to go ahead and get in today, right? This episode is pretty much going to be with Cal Jones, right? Cal Jones is actually going to be taking a strong stance against Deborah Freeman, right? And pretty much break down the real reason why there is crime in the apartment complex. See what's going on, Miss Deborah Freeman. Unfortunately, she had a son that had passed away that got killed through some violent crime over at one of the apartments in the city. And she's coming on the council, and as a citizen, going and complaining about it and trying to see what the council can do, see if they can put any type of ordinance to help the police go ahead and see if they can get something done about it, right? So anybody else won't have to grieve and, feel like the way she felt. And we're going to go ahead and see what Cal Jones' response to it is. And then we're kind of going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and break that down and pretty much tell you what Cal actually means and what is actually going on. Let's go ahead and see what's going on right here.
Councilman Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, Deb.
Good morning.
I feel hurt about your son. We're all like family. Well, Ms. Freeman, O.W. Collins, how long have you and I been going back to that problem?
At OW?
Yes.
6 years.
6 years. And we're still talking about the same thing. I get tired of discussing the same issues at council meeting. We discussed this 6 years ago. We had a problem with O.W. Collins and the apartment complex. We hadn't got serious about doing anything about it then. Can we get serious now?
They have done, Mr. Cal, they've fixed the lighting because I make a drive through there at night to be sure the lighting's working.
We met last year.
Wow, now Cal Jones said, hey, how many times have been going ahead and trying to get this done, right? However many times he's been trying to get this done. Well, let me go ahead and back up, right? Let me go ahead and back up. When Ms. Freeman kind of came over here and give a presentation, right? She was doing some crying. They had to get her some tissues and everything like that. When she was going through and explaining about, her son, about what happened to her son, the issues being murdered and due to the what she's saying is the lighting issues and some lack of security cameras. Now, Ms. Freeman, right? She also, now jumping back to what Cal Jones is talking about, right? Now, Ms. Deborah Freeman, she used to work at the city of Port Arthur in the housing department. She used to have a son, she has a son named Derek Freeman, and he used to be the mayor of the city of Port Arthur. Now the mayor of the city, that position appoints all of the board members that are on the housing authority, right? The housing authority. So, and also Ms. Deborah Freeman, she has connections within O.W. Collins. So between Ms. Deborah Freeman, Derek Freeman, they have a lot of connects with these developers, right? Because they're in the the real estate business. They probably have kind of taught Derek the business of the real estate and taught him out. So they've been around all of these people, right? So they know the Agberries over at iTex. They know all these people that's in with the low income housing. So pretty much what Cal is saying, right, ma'am, when me and you was at O.W. Collins with your son Derek Freeman as a mayor, we've been trying to get this thing done. This isn't a new problem. this is an old problem. We've been trying to get things done with her. You know what I mean? So it's like now I'm interpreting what Cal Jones is saying. Now is, a lot of people have been hurt, injured, killed between the Shire, with the old Shire and all these other apartments, right? Hey, we saying the same thing, Son didn't really make a issue to try to change some of this stuff, right? And unfortunately, he had a relationship with the Agberries, and that's the kind of main culprit of it. I'm gonna go ahead and let some of this play, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get back to my point.
Chief and I, with Casada, Miss Paula Watts, Vice President.
He's showing the card.
Collins.
Says I text.
We told him we wanted a checkpoint for security. Still hadn't happened.
Why? You pull out another sheet of paper.
We want picture IDs, to prove people live there. Still hadn't happened. 6 years ago, last year. Okay, the chief.
Okay, so basically what he's saying now, look, we've been trying to do this a long time ago at O.W. Collins because they noticed the problem over there. Back then with Freeman doing the same thing now. So they've been trying to get a lot of these things, taken care of. So I know it seems kind of insensitive how the way Councilmember Jones doing it, but he basically telling you, man, look, we've been going through the same thing. We've been, sorry about your son, but man, we've been trying to put an end to this back when your son was a mayor. That's basically what he's saying. We've been trying to do this. We've been having it. Look, he got the ITEX number. Basically, this is the problem for the thing, right? A lot of the time, these council members getting in bed with these developers, right? Like, for instance, Chris Agberry. They've been between Chris Agberry and his father, Ike Agberry, they've been putting a lot of low-income housing here. We have more than 2.5 times the state average, right? Remember when they had that big issue with the Edison Square? You had a lawsuit going against the Edison Square, right? They didn't build it how they wanted to. They had to kind of change the way to how they was going to build it to kind of meet the stipulations in that lawsuit. So you have these developers, right, getting in bed with council members. When they get in bed with them, the good graces with them council members, they'll go ahead and put a lot of these low-income housing here. So they have so many low-income housing that they have to go to council because it's more than 2.5 times the state's average. So that's a main problem in here why things can't get better, because we have a lot of low-income housing. We're like importing poverty, right? Anytime you have low-income housing, you have anybody can apply to them. So what a lot of the times that they do, right, to drag the money out of these HUD tax credits, right? They're gonna say that Port Arthur has a need for housing, so they're gonna develop, build, and get some make a case to get some tax credit for low income housing, and boom, go ahead and bring them and develop a new housing. Now you can get, say for instance, you have 500 people in Port Arthur that need the housing. Say the apartment is 1,000, right? They'll probably get 800 from out of town, 200 from here to fill that. Well, hey, they filled it, but they still need the void, right? They still need some housing. So they'll make it, instead of filling the people here, they'll get people from all over. So that's just the way how that housing HUD, that's how the low-income housing deal works, where anybody can apply to it that needs to have the housing. So that's the issue that we're having with that. So whenever, and also another thing is, the same company ITEX, they had Southwood Crossing, right? Southwood Crossing over 73, what used to be the Ramada Inn, I think, that hotel or whatever. But anyway, those apartment complexes over there, they had a lot of mold from the storm, one of the storms, right? So they had a lot of damage, and ITEX, the same company, he's showing up there, right? They had Derek Freeman was getting them to get some money from the GLO, right? $13.5 million. Now they've received their money, but they didn't do anything as far as like fixing those apartments up while they had people inhaling mold and everything like that. See, the key the key reason why you have all these crimes, right? Because you in bed with these developers, right? These property owners and developers, they know that the council is not going to do any harm to them if they put the citizens in harm, right? Because all of this is a money hustle. So when you as a leader, a city leader, show that you're not really worried about what happens to the citizens. Hell, they can have it. They can have the money and not want to build it, but the city is not going to, put any teeth to any kind of, laws when they're trying to get that taken care of, or threaten them to kind of, hey, try to get the GLO to try to take their money back or to make any kind of complaints with it. So you put the citizens, the tenants, in harm's way, so to speak, right? So just like they are not really going to do anything about for us, like fixing the apartments from mold. That's something that they need to do, right? That's something that they would have to do by law, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, they're not going to go above and beyond to put some extra lighting in there or some extra cameras in there, because we as a council, right? The councilman, we as a city, right? The council has set a precedent. If they give them some campaign money, they're going to have the backs of the developers, the property owners. So, heck, why would they want to put some lights in there? If it don't really cost them nothing, it's not going to do it. Hell, council members don't give a damn about the citizens. Hell, look, they didn't pressure us into fielding Southwood crossings or whatnot when they got the money. They had the money to do it. They failed to have insurance, from what I hear, right? But they got $13.5 million. They should have been fixed at apartments. $13.5 million. I don't see why you couldn't do it. You had it. But hell, they've been in bed with them so much. Our techs, they don't really need to follow anything. So when you have other apartment complexes, saying to hell with them, we see how the council allow the developers to hustle the citizens. So that's how it's always going to be, right? That's how it's going to be until you have leadership. Until you have leadership that's going to put pressure on these individuals. Now, that's one reason why I'm glad that a lot of people chose Mr. Guillory for the JP. You got rid of one of them, right? See, they was all in bed together. The I-Techs, the boss hogs, the mayors and stuff, they was all in bed together, right? So one thing about the JP, when you have some type of tenant apartment disputes, right, that's the avenue that you go to. That's one of the people that you go to, the JP. So you've broken a part of that control from the actual developer. So that's a good thing. That JP, they don't have somebody they can always kind of count on. With Mr. Joe Guillory, he's going to look at it fair, then, give a ruling like that. So he know that, they didn't support him, so it's nothing. He doesn't owe him anything. So you got to understand how all of this works. They when you're a developer, they buy the council members. They buy some of the judges. If they can't buy the big judges, they'll get the JPs that deal with their things, so they can have control on all realms. So hell, they can do whatever they want to you, and they're not going to have any type of consequences, because for what? Because they have everybody paid off, so to speak. So that's pretty much what Cal Jones was getting at with this. Let's go ahead and listen to some more.
9 million down Frank met about a month ago with Kashada again, and a conference call with the same people. They're supposed to give it to the chief and get something in place about this security, another kind of problem we're having. Ladies and gentlemen, get old discussing the same doggone thing over and over again.
I'm going to just say this to you since I'm in front of you.
I understand what you're saying there.
Casada is the one who says about the money.
But the city, this is our city. So we would put this council get something in place by taking care of our people.
Yes.
Keep discussing this 6 years ago. Last year, back to the same thing, wasting taxpayer people time and, our time, the same old stuff.
So pretty much, Cal Jones told Deborah Freeman, look, we've been doing this way since when your son was over here in mayor, right? We've been saying the same thing. Your son didn't really put any pressure down on it. Hey, now we have to do it when your son not doing it. Now you coming to the council pretty much wasting our time. That's what he said. I didn't. Cal Jones saying that. Get mad at him, not me. He the one saying y'all wasting your time. So this is a strong stance from Councilmember Jones, man. He kind of he was real on this one. I mean, a lot of people been losing family members to this senseless violence. You know, one person is not special than the other. He basically saying, hey, they've been trying to do some things way back when your son was mayor. You know, unfortunately, hey, that's, you know, they've been trying to do it, but they didn't have that urgency back then, right? They didn't have this urgency. Now when it kind of hits close to home, hey, let's put something. But tell you the truth, Ms. Freeman and her son Derek have more influence back then on these developers than the current administration have, you know? So they had the inside plug. They had the inside connect. But hell, you know, they didn't do anything back then.
It's our city. We're in charge. The buck stop with us. Let's put some teeth in this stuff. Let's get it done. Let's stop talking about this stuff, discussing it. Let's get it done. I feel sorry for what you're going through there. But,
we can't even get the police to really, if you just want to know, because they make more money working at a refinery than they do coming in a place with a lot of trouble. I don't know how that changes.
Excuse me.
They ain't really trying to pay him. So, you know, it's about to get a little, you know, questionable right here.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me, Councilman. It's 10:03. We have a public hearing, and you know we're
I'm sorry, yeah.
Chief, you ever get an answer back from
Paul
Artex?
Councilman.
Hold on 1 minute.
Okay.
1 second. Chief,
We off track.
can you explain what happened?
Councilman.
Wait 1 second.
I know, but I'm listening to my attorney.
Well, hell, they're not really off track. You have a citizen that has a complaint, has no question. I mean, she's giving a presentation. Of course, she's going to want some answers. I mean, and Cal Jones seemed like he really wants to give her an answer. He went, hey, look, we trying to help. We trying to do this. Now, I know that's not the apartment that she's talking about, but hell, this is the major part. This is all of them. You know, she's trying to put on a main apartments. The problems, the apartment that her son had passed away from, my understanding, it doesn't have a lot of issues. It's not really one that you see around, you know, that's kind of in the news like the Shire, like O.W. Collins or whatnot. So that's what Cal Jones and them focus is. So, you know, obviously it's her son, so she's going to have a bias. Hey, can you get him to put some lighting over here? But when you have a lot of problem areas, it's deeper than this. You have to go to the root cause to go ahead and solve the problem. And to solve the problem is the way that these council members are in bed with these developers. Remember that these council members are in bed with these developers. These council members are in bed with these developers. It's not about lights. See, once the council members show these developers that you can treat them any kind of way, that they have the developers back, because, hey, if you give me some campaign money, I got your back. You can do whatever in the hell you want to with these citizens. That's where everything kind of, you know, flows. And when you're trying to give your citizens low-income housing, that's showing, hey, you don't give a damn about the city or the citizens. You know what I mean? Because you're importing poverty. You're importing poverty with the potential for crime, because due to a lot of criminal justice surveys, right? This is well documented. The biggest reason for crime is financial based, right? Poverty, when you have a group with low poverty, that's when you have a high crime rate, right? Poverty is the ingredients for high crime. That's been long studied, long proven with criminology, the study of criminology. That's been proven, and you know, time and time again. If you have no jobs, high poverty, you have high crime. So, and the best way to tackle high crime is you have a lot of jobs, you get a lot of unemployment, economics. So that's kind of going over to another topic about economics and getting these people jobs and these plants and stuff. But that's something else. Let's go ahead and continue.
Minute.
Come on.
Chief, come up. Take 1 second.
No.
Don't tell me no.
Councilman, I just
Councilman,
want
I'm
to say one
listening
thing. This is a discussion item. This is not a discussion item. It's a presentation.
Yeah.
So we don't want to get into other entities. We want to make sure we stay on topic with her cameras.
They're supposed to give my answer about the same thing. People did.
Yeah, but Councilman, can we just, and we'll be able to get that for you. And
No problem.
And what's happening, we have Councilwoman Holmes wants to say something
Yes.
to Mr. Freeman. Councilman, would you just, please, you do that for me? For the betterment of the whole. Okay, go ahead, Councilwoman Holmes. Go ahead, Councilwoman Holmes.
I just want to say to
So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. You have Councilmember Jones actually trying to, do something good and give an answer, right? But Miss Freeman, she wants to have an answer about her son and the actual apartments that her son got murdered in. But Carol Jones, he's giving, hey, we trying to do this to an apartment that has a larger problem, so he's trying to get something fixed. So that's where I believe the miscommunication that and everything, and this is pretty much it for this podcast. And I want to go ahead and let y'all, just give y'all a little bit of what I thought about it. Until the next time, everybody, take it easy. Peace.